A very good morning. Our Hollywood happening today looks at a film fitting for the Memorial Day week. It's Churchill. In June of 1944, Allied forces stand on the brink. A massive army is secretly assembled on the south coast of Britain, ready to retake Nazi-occupied Europe. One man stands in their way, Sir Winston Churchill, played by Brian Cox. Should the D-Day landing fail, he is terrified that he'll be remembered as the architect of carnage. Allied forces are frustrated by Churchill's attempts to stop the invasion. But standing by his side is his wife Clementine, played by Miranda Richardson, a strong influence in all of his decisions. Well, Brian, the clock was ticking for Sir Winston Churchill in June 1944. Did this add suspense to the film?
Well, absolutely. It all revolves around one major question, you know. Do they go or do they not go? And are they going or are they not going? You know, that's it.
Miranda, what did you learn in your research that may have surprised you about Clementine?
How volatile. I would prefer to see it as being true to herself and that they had such a good relationship that was allowed. I mean, this is a person who, if she didn't like somebody at the dinner table, would get up and take herself off to bed and, you know, no questions asked. She just did not suffer fools. So I think the amount of nervous strain, if you use your imagination, you would see that had to be so, but for both of them. Particularly during this time, and although we don't go into the details of the children at all, they had lost a child earlier in the marriage, and that must have had a little back of the brain part to play. I mean, just loss generally, when Winston is thinking about the loss of the boys in Gallipoli and, you know, the loss of a child, a little girl, and so I'm sure it all had a part to play.
Well, you know, there have been many films about the D-Day invasion, but none that goes into the politics involved. What was behind the invasion politically?
It's mainly it's a kind of the confluence of events. It's also the change. It's the beginning of the kind of new military as represented by Eisenhower. And he's coming in, and he's coming in with a very, very specific plan. And it's that plan that Churchill is not too happy about, because, as I said, he's not too happy about the nature of amphibious landings. And Churchill actually came up with his own alternative plan. So there was a little bit of tussle, and there was, you know, you've got to realize that this was 1944. You know, the war had been going on since the end of '39, so it was coming up to hitting its 5th year, and the losses were astonishing. And I think Churchill, and he was frail, he'd been ill he had pneumonia the previous winter, so I think he was feeling he was not at his best. And also, he suffered from this thing called the black dog, this depression.
Beaches always bring it back. I mustn't let it happen again.
Winston.
Good God. I was working.
The Cabinet Office has sent you a new secretary.
It's such an honour to meet you, Mr. Churchill, sir.
Well, there's no need to drop to the floor, my dear. I'm not royalty.
General Eisenhower.
Winston?
This will be the greatest campaign by our Allied forces. The potential for disaster is too great.
The plans for D-Day have been in place for over a month.
I can't lead this.
You have no choice.
It's as if my experience, my knowledge of warfare count for nothing. The invasion of France must be stopped.
No, sir, you must be stopped.
Do you want to be coddled?
I'd settle for some respect.
Then don't complain when someone tells you the truth.
The army is ready.
Okay, let's go.
Half of those men will be rotting corpses by tomorrow.
That's enough! My fiancé is on one of those ships. I don't want to hear that the man I love may in a few hours be dead. I'm sorry. I have no right.
You have every right.
Well, the film Churchill opens today, and there have been several films dealing with the D-Day invasion of Europe, but none that explore the politics behind this historical day like this film. I think Brian Cox should be remembered for his outstanding performance as Winston Churchill when Oscar nominations are announced. It's rated PG-13, my grade a solid B. Well, also opening today, the animation comedy Captain Underpants, the first epic, which may be its last. Voice talent includes Kevin Hart. A crime thriller, Vincent and Roxy, starring Emile Hirsch and Zoe Deutsch. The drama, A Past Life, and a couple of comedies, Dean and Three Idiots. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week right here on The Morning.